Welcome to the Eonics Podcast, a podcast about software development, new ways of working, and lots of other interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Another English edition with a very special guest, Yatish Porwal.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. You have been with Eonics for a long time, I think. How long is it actually?
I think it is about more than 3 years.
More than 3 years.
Yeah.
And you're an experienced consultant, and we wanted to talk to you about a few different things. You're an expat, and also soon to leave the country again, sadly.
Yeah.
But specifically, you've worked in many different places.
Yeah.
Like I think we're all used to remote work by now, but you've also worked for Dutch assignments and for Dutch clients while you were living in different countries, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I got an opportunity to work from Mexico. I worked from India, and it was a little bit longer time. So the client was very generous to allow me to work for like 2 months from Mexico, and it has like 7 hours of time difference between the Netherlands and the Mexico City. But it was pretty cool, right? I mean, it had a little bit of hiccups, like I need to attend few of the meetings at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning from Mexico time. But all in all, I think the client was very good, and they were very supportive, and they changed some of the meetings towards the evening time in the Netherlands so that I can join in the early morning over there. And my experience was great, actually, working from Mexico. So
you asked permission to the client?
I did ask for the permission, yes. Yeah.
Because for us, we probably said it's fine.
Yeah. So
but the client needs to get...
Right. Eonics was always fine, right? So, I mean, they said like, as long as the client is okay, we are okay. And the client said, it's fine. Like, they understood my personal situation.
So you asked your direct manager or the Scrum Master, or how did you do it?
I asked my direct manager.
Okay. Yeah. And he immediately said yes, or?
Yeah, he looked at it. He said like, it's allowed in the ING policy, so you can work.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there may be for a limited amount of time, or what was the?
Yeah, they said like, it is a limited amount of time for like, a month and a half working days. So since I was working for like 4 days a week, then, all in all, it worked fine in that policy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you also did it again from India, or was that a different?
Yeah, I did it from India on a different time, few months later, or I think more than 6 months later. So that was allowed in the policy. So they said, and I was not working from India for quite long. I went there for roughly about 3 weeks, and I worked for a week or 1 week and a half in between.
So was it for combining like visiting family or holiday with work?
Right, yeah.
Because I think that's a common combination of what people want to do, right? They want to visit relatives for a bit of longer time.
Yeah, after the COVID, people could not visit their family. So this was this is a perfect way of doing it. If you're going to India, at least you are going for like 3 to 4 weeks. And then, you don't want to drop everything from your work. So you need to be connected with your work as well. And people should not forget it to you. And you should not forget people, right, whom you're working with. So, so I worked for 1.5 weeks over there while in India.
But how did you approach it? Did you work like, was it like one consecutive time that you worked? Or would you like work days in between?
Well, I did 1.5 week continuous, right? I did not want to do like break and then, come back, because it just breaks the continuity.
Not switching.
Not switching, right? So I took, when I went from here, I took a holiday, and then I already told that, this is my going to be schedule. I'm taking 1.5 week holiday, and then 1.5 week working over there. And before coming back, I'll take 1 week holiday, right? So that's how I combined it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is your experience doing it this way? Did you like it, or was it?
Yeah, I like it. And the most important thing was like, I am kind of a disciplined guy, right? So I work in well-defined hours and well-defined work. So, and my team was very, very disciplined. It's a very agile team, and all the stories were really hashed out and everything is written. So I can just come in one day and read the story, start working on it, and we use the time gap as as an advantage rather than a disadvantage. So I was working in Indian hours, and then when people are coming in Netherlands hour, they would just review my code, and everything is done, right? Or if they have a comment.
But for Mexico, it was a bit different. You said because you also got up at night to do the meetings.
Yes, with Mexico it was different. It was actually much better. So very little overlap was there from Mexico to Netherlands time because of the 7-hour difference, right? So it was hardly 1.5 hour overlap time. But then I had no distraction, no meetings.
Okay.
So I can use the entire day and full of work, and then either the code review or working on the development. And then the next day, people in the Netherlands team, they review my work or they work on the development. I review them. It was a great collaboration.
But this sounds like it requires someone. I mean, you're a very experienced guy. It sounds like you need to be disciplined, one, but also be able to work very independently.
Yes.
If you would depend a lot on interaction with your colleagues, it would be more difficult, right?
Yes. So this is what we discussed, that in our refinement session, we used to clarify each and everything in the story.
Right.
That means anybody, whether it is coming from vacation or not, they can just read the story. Everything is clearly written down over there, and they can work independently. As you said, if there is a lot of dependency, then it gets tricky over there, right? You need interaction. Yeah.
So the refinement process becomes even more important with a distributed team, actually,
yes,
in a way.
Yes. And that was the thing we already established in our team, that everything is clearly written. That and if you need little bit of clarity, you can always ask, and you can always email. But most of the thing were clear over there. Yeah.
Would you say you maybe even prefer this way of working, like having being in a different time zone, or is it just it's okay for a while, but it's also nice?
I think it's okay for the while, and then you also miss your colleagues, right? Seeing them each other, and you have to build rapport, right? If you are remote for a quite long time, then you lose that rapport, right? So you need to meet people. So it worked out well because I already worked at the client for roughly 1.5 hour before 1.5 years. Before I went there. So then it worked, right? Because I have a rapport with the team. They know how I work, how they work.
Right.
So there's a very good gel in the team. Then it works. You have
a relationship and trust and all those things.
Exactly.
So if I hear you correctly, you're saying it's good to do for bits here and there.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't want to do it as a permanent thing.
No, I would suggest if somebody has to do it, then first build the rapport. Then go work remotely for whatever time it is, 1, 2 months, 3 months. Then come back and build a rapport again, and mix with people and rehash things how it worked. Do a kind of a retro, or just put some points over there, how you felt about it.
Right.
So and encourage other people to work independently as well, right, in their own time zone.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, what is the order in which you approached it? You came to your employee to Eonics first to ask to discuss it basically.
First I came to Eonics. I let them know what my plans are. This is what I'm thinking. Then Eonics said they are fine. Go and talk to the client. Then I approached the client manager, explained my situation. He already knew that I was going through my personal issues, in the sense so he said he's okay with that because it is going to help you personally in your personal issues, and then when you're satisfied with that, then you are more productive, right, rather than being separated apart, right? So
it sounds like, again, building the relationship is actually
It is very important.
You already knew, and there already was a lot of trust. So when you said hey, I want to do this, he immediately was able to give support.
That's correct
for the plan.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
So communication
Communication is the key. Yes.
Is there something else? Some other interesting difference in terms of, I don't know, tools you used or ways of working, or was it mostly similar in the end?
No, I mean, again, when you are remote, then it's your responsibility to communicate more and more.
Okay.
And use all the communication tools that you can use, right? Like the Teams or the chat or the email. The more clear you are, because you are the only person who are remote, so you have to be very crystal clear what you're talking about.
Right.
The other side may not get it, the whole picture of it, so you have to be very clear. So you have to be very communicative and very clear communication and precise communication.
Right.
So that is quite important as
So
well.
focus on communication.
Focus on communication.
Basically.
Focus on communication. Be disciplined and make your team comfortable, trustworthy, friendly, and make them you are working and you are helping them, and make them in a way that all the stories and refinement session goes fine, and all the stories are well defined.
Right. So it's the whole approach of how you conduct yourself within the team.
Yeah.
Even when you're still with them in person, that they know, like, okay, he communicates clearly. So then when you work remotely, they know everything's going to be fine, and we can trust that it won't be a problem, basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Anything other interesting things that we haven't touched upon yet that you could mention about the remote work process?
Well,
did you look into any like legal stuff or like visas and that kind of thing?
I did look into it, right? So for Mexico, it allowed with the Dutch residence permit, it allowed you visa-free entry, right? So you don't need to take a visa to go to Mexico.
Right.
That was a very plus point for me. Because I don't want to wait for it, right? I can just arrive over there and they can they give you the entry. So that was a good thing. I think from a tax perspective, also I looked at it that. I think I cannot stay out of Netherlands for more than 3 months.
Right.
Otherwise, there's some issue with the tax or maybe with the your residency status.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
I did look into that. Right. So that needs to be looked at it. Right. Where you are when you are visiting.
Yeah. So if you're really planning on going away for 6 months, then probably you have to do a bit more research.
Right.
On all the implications.
Exactly.
And whatever. Because what was the longest time you did it? 2 months.
2 months. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you need to inform Gemeente and IND. Yeah, you have to do a little bit of research, like how it works. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else we didn't touch upon?
No, what I just wanted to say that I really enjoyed my stay in Mexico. So I was working both the times and in the regular working hours.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, me and my wife just enjoyed the Mexico City a lot, roamed around places, and which is what I brought over here to people in the Netherlands, saying it's a beautiful city. Generally with the name of Mexico, people are like little bit of scared.
Right.
So I did little bit of cultural thing also over here, no, it's not a bad place to live. It's pretty good place, and it's a safe and secure place. You can visit. There are a lot many things to do in Mexico. Yeah, so we did talk about all the cultural thing as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was really a combination of working, but then also.
Having a vacation. Working from vacation or vacation work, whatever you call it. Yeah.
Sounds like a very good combination.
It really worked out well for me. Yeah.
Thanks for inspiring us, Yatish, with your and sharing your knowledge and experiences.
Yeah, thank you, Marcus.
And I hope to talk to you again sometime.
Sure, absolutely, anytime.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.